All right, guys, welcome back to another interview on MMAUnhinged. Once again, I'm joined by Fleury. How's it going?
Good, man. Very good.
Look at him showing off. Look at that. That is absolutely outrageous.
Fuck it. You have to be in this game, don't you?
We were talking before we talked about the belt in the background. You're just showing off at this point. Off last weekend, off the back of a fantastic performance. My first question is, how did you feel about that performance, and how did you feel about it now that we're like kind of a week on?
Yeah, like I went back and watched it a few times. I'm pretty fucking proud of it. I picked him apart. I felt comfortable in there all the time. I know afterwards there was a little bit of like, you could have finished him. Became the narrative. Well, man, it's on him to change things when you're beating him that badly. Like I was landing shots and I was landing like decent shots pretty consistently. And then when I got him down, I was, dominating like fuck as well. So I feel like if he had really tried to change the trajectory of the fight, I would have had a bigger chance to finish him. But he was more intent on like not getting badly hurt. And even at that, like I still dominated. Like, I was hitting him consistently without getting hit. So in terms of the way the fight went, I'm very happy. Some things like, I look back and I'm like, okay, there's little things there that need to be tightened up a little bit. And that's on me to go away and work on. But overall, with how the whole thing went, yeah, I'm delighted.
I absolutely agree. I think 2 10-8 rounds, 30-25 on 3 scorecards. How could you not be impressed with that performance? Sorry?
Well, it sounds good, but I think the last round must have been the 10-8 round, and then he got a point deducted during that round as well. So there was a point. Yeah, so it's only 1 10-8 round, which look, fuck it. Still, that would have been a 30-26. And partially, he was stopping me from fucking finishing because he was out of energy at that stage and he was fish hooking the inside of the glove. And I was like trying to show Goddard, like, hey, look, he's doing it, and this is my main hitting hand. Like, that was the hand I was going to be able to properly beat him with. So he kept blocking that hand, which kind of prevented me from landing. I did do, still looking at him afterwards, I was like, oh, I did some damage with that hand. But, I prevented that. So, he took a point for that as well. So that was what made it 25. But it was, 30-26 anyway. And, look, who gives a fuck what the judges say? I know I felt it in there. I was beating the fuck out of him the whole fight anyway. So I'm happy enough.
Exactly. 3 rounds of domination. The first 2 rounds we striking. You look far better than him when it was standing up. And then obviously in the 3rd round, you showed that you had that wrestling as well. But talking about that striking, you just look vastly superior than him. You look better in every shape. Did you expect that coming into the fight? Did you see that there was a big advantage standing up?
Yeah. Look, I do a lot of work. I haven't always been the striker that I am now. I was able to hit people. I was able to knock people out years ago, but I probably didn't have the fundamentals to stay safe in every position, which I do now. That's my 4th fight in a row, dominating the fuck out of people. I haven't lost a round in 4 fights. I've dominated every minute of every fight, and that's the first fight that I've been hit in. So he clipped the back of my head over here at one stage. That's the first punch that's been landed on me in 4 fights. So I'm doing fucking something right, but it's a lot of work. As in, I think I can do that against pretty much anybody. So I've got a fundamental game that I stick to. That I have my when we're in this position, it's this. When we're in this position, it's this. And those are things that are just understood by my brain. But that's happened because I've drilled the fuck out of all of those things. So I'm a vicious bastard who loves to fight. And I'm also now very well aware of where I'm at in every position. So I think I'm a dangerous motherfucker out there for anybody.
Absolutely agree. The 205 pounds in the light heavyweight division in PFL, I think is open a little bit. And obviously you can go in there, put your name in there. But talking about the fight, was this the sort of fight that you were expecting from Anthony?
Yeah, I wanted him to come forward more. I expected him to come forward a little bit more. So a lot of what I was drilling for the last few weeks, especially, were kind of back steps. So as he was coming in, back step hook, back step hook. That combo landed once, and then he didn't want to come forward after that. So I clipped him about 2 minutes into the fight, and those were the real I'm getting my hips involved, power shot kind of shots. I expected him to come forward a lot more, to want to clinch a lot more, to shoot to when things got a little bit hairy, when he wasn't winning on the feet. That when I was playing that outside range, he'd try and close the distance. That was where I was going to land the big shots, but he never fucking tried to close the distance. So I was a little bit surprised at that, but otherwise, yeah, things went pretty much as I saw them going.
Yeah, it was a very smooth victory. As you talked about, there was never a moment in that fight that you seemed really trouble. Obviously, you got clipped behind the ear, but talk about the performance and and the win. Was it to you? Was this the best performance of your career? I know you've had some fantastic victories. You've fought for UAE. You've won the belt. We can see it shining behind you. Where does this win kind of rank?
It's up there in terms of technique. In terms of like emotional, like, oh fuck, I got such a release out of that. It's not the bigger, like, I've knocked guys out. I've had like those big moments of like fucking being primal and screaming and beating your chest. It's not one of those, but like when I go back and I look at it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. Like I'm satisfied there. So it's more of a like slow burner of like the more often, like I've watched it maybe 7 or 8 times now. Every time I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, you did that pretty well. Yeah, you did that pretty well. And like there's a satisfaction within that. But ultimately, man, like this doesn't change my life. And I need a fight that's going to change my life. So like, the whole concept here of getting into the $1 million tournament, all that type of thing. Now they're playing with me a bit, saying like, we're not 100% sure we're going to do that. Like, give me a big fight. Give me something that I can like change my career. Like, I'm 11-3 now. I've shown I'm legit as fuck. I can beat legit guys. Put me in there with a big name. Put me in there with somebody who I can go, okay, here's what I'm going to stake my career on. I'm going to fucking put it all on the line. Get that guy to put it all on the line. And we can have that moment of like, shit, Will is high level. Will's like done the work. Will's clearly this thing. Like, so for me, I'm not going to be fucking satisfied until I get that. But when I look back at that performance, it's like, yeah, it's a good performance, but it's still just like a little step on the ladder that I'm like, I'm still fucking down here, and I feel like I deserve to be right up there. So
yeah, you talked about the 1 million tournament, and then you said that that they might not do that now. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so like I've signed a contract that says I'm part of this $1 million tournament, but I'm not sure if that's happening. They're doing a European series next year, so like midweek I got changed to like you're qualifying for the European series. So what the prize money for the European series is, hasn't been determined. But look, I like the PFL. I like dealing with them. They've been pretty good overall. I think like look at the vast majority of fighters they have seem very happy to be under them. They treated me very well while I was over in Cardiff with them. They're good. Like, there was a lot of shit I really liked about dealing with them. But ultimately, man, I got to make a career out of this. I got to know how much money I'm going to be making. And like, if it's not $1 million and you offered me this big carrot to go up to light heavyweight, then there'd want to be a pretty fucking big carrot there. Like, there's got to be something else that's like really something special. And if not, fuck, I'll go back. I'll be a middleweight somewhere. It's kind of like, give me something fucking big. Because I'm your guy. I'm the guy who'll get in and do that thing. Like, but you got to give me something.
Yeah, they have described the purse for the PFL Europe Series as a major purse. So I don't know if that means 1 mil or I don't know.
I was told like, oh, it's going to be good money. And I was like, good money is subjective as fuck. Some people think 100 grand's good money. Some people think, fucking 20 grand's good money. Like, as in, to what? Give us a baseball, like, give us a fucking ballpark figure, like. But it depends. Like, look, if that is good money, great. I'm in. Fucking give me it for you boys. Put us all in a tournament there, and I'll whoop their ass and I'll claim that prize. But like, it would want to be a decent prize, man. I want to like. There has to be an incentive for going up a weight class. Like, it's 10 kilos up, and I'm fucking like, I'm putting a lot of time and effort and energy into this shit. So like, give me something that I can stake my claim on and go, okay, this is going to be life changing and career changing. Because like, I have that ability now. I think I've gone into my last like 4 fights and shown, look, this guy's high level. He's high class. Like, put me in with a guy who's got a name that I can prove this to, or that I can like go out and show the fan base here, hey, I can do this to everybody. And then I've got value. My brand has a lot more value. My fucking thing, like, everyone buys into it a lot more. But until you give me that opportunity, then the only thing is money. So give me money or give me that.
Well, I definitely think you deserve a shot. Obviously, a fantastic performance. I don't see why they don't put you in the global league, or if they do put you in the Europe Seas league. Surely there's got to be some sort of money, the incentives that you were talking about. And you're going up in weight. there's got to be some sort of incentives to have them appear for Europe. Obviously, you have to win that European series to get into the actual global league.
I think there will be. I think, like, look, ultimately they treat their fighters pretty well in general, and they seem to be the kind of crowd who, like, they understand what MMA is a little bit more. So they get it. They get, you know, the position that the guys they're bringing in are in. They get the position that I'm in, and they understand, like, well, there'd want to be a fairly fucking serious reward here. So as long as they get that and the whole thing works out, great. I'm on board. I'm 100% like, you know, you won't get a more game guy than me. Man, I fought last week. I'm already back in the gym. I'm already doing, like, you know, I'm building to the next fight already because I fucking need to be. Because, like, I come home, yeah, great, you won the fight. All right, you're under major financial stress now for a month or two. Okay, great, but I will be in a month or two, so I better fucking get the next purse. I better get the next thing. I better leave a fucking legacy for this shit so as I can, like, build something for afterwards. So, like, I'm at that level. I'm that guy now. Give me the fights. Let me go out and show it. Let me make the fucking money. Let's get this whole thing going.
Yeah, PFL have 8 months on, 6 months off. I was talking to Nathan Kelly yesterday, and he was talking about the next fight might not be until like February of next year. So as you're talking about, that's probably a long way for a fighter like yourself to wait for.
Yeah, it's too fucking long. So I know that in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to find out what's next. And if it is February 2023, fuck, we're going to have a chat. You know? Because I'm too healthy and I'm too fucking good. And I've only got like another couple of years of a window. Like, I'm 33 right now. I've worked my balls off for the last 4 or 5 years to be this fucking good. You know, I've been doing this shit for the last 12 years. Like, let me make my money, lads. Let me fucking go out and get it. Like, because I'm at that stage. I'm at that stage where, like, nobody seems like there's a fucking, you know, there's no challenge out there I don't want. So let me go and pursue them, or else give them to me. I want them. Like, you can be the guys. You can give it to me. Just give it to me.
Absolutely. Moving back to the fight itself, we got caught up with there. But what have you taken away from the experience of the PFL 8? Obviously, talked about you watched it back. You've seen a little bit adjustments that need to be made. But what have you taken from the overall experience and obviously the fight in Wales?
Overall, PFL were cool to deal with, man. You know, they're much more human and much more, like, down to earth. They're great. Like, the group of guys you deal with, they're decent people. And it matters. It does, you know, as much as, like, obviously financially it's how much they're sorting out, and that's the bottom line. It's much nicer to go over and spend a week around people who treat you like human beings. So that's really cool. I appreciate that, and I'm happy about that. And the whole experience, even, like, they're professional, the setup was good. It's like, everything is well organized. I'll say that. So I was about, like, you know, I enjoyed the week in Cardiff. Those weeks to me, like, I fucking really like fighting. So those weeks are kind of like a holiday, if you get me. It's like you're not even training that hard. You're not beat up. So it's like you go over, you do some light shit, you make the weight. Obviously, it was a way easier weight cut because, like, I'm a very small light heavyweight in comparison to a big middleweight. And it was a really fun week. I really fucking enjoyed it. But, like, again, it's because of all the work I've done in the last few months before this that week was fun. You know, if you're coming into that week underprepared and a bit nervous and all that, it's a totally different fucking week. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, the whole experience was class.
Obviously, as you talked about fighting in Wales, Cardiff. How did you celebrate? I know the Irish, they love Guinness.
No, well, in fairness, yeah. So we ended up in, like, an Italian place. The PFL had a little bit of an after party, and that's another cool thing that they do. And, like, that's new. I haven't really, none of the promotions I've worked for in the past have done that. And it's a nice little touch. But, you know, there was free drink in an Italian restaurant afterwards. Now, there was no Guinness, unfortunately. But I know, man, I know. But
there was a lot of Irish on that card, and they did no Guinness.
I know. I'll have to have a word. But look, they'll come over to Dublin eventually. We'll get to, like, I'll be buying the pints that night. So, like, if they want proper Guinness, come to Dublin, lads. I'll show you.
I mean, they would definitely sell out if they went over there. It's incredible. I was talking to Nathan as well yesterday, and he said he wants PFL to come to Dublin. I mean, I said to him, the Irish crowd is the best MMA crowd that we've got.
It is. It's a fact.
It's ridiculous. we talked about the PFL Europe, so I'll move on. We talked about obviously the UAE champ. You fought in Bellator, and we talked about where that ranked. So you pretty much answered all my questions. So I'll move to some good stuff. There's a video. There was a popular video that I've seen. It was a few years ago. He was an Irishman. He's a WWE wrestler. It's you and Sheamus, and it's you working out in these abs. He's hitting the pads, and you're holding it for him. Talk to me about that. What was it like to meet, obviously, a WWE superstar and Sheamus, and obviously a fellow Irishman who's also successful?
Man, that was a class experience. I'll be honest, that guy is cool as fuck. He's just genuine. Like, I really didn't expect, like, you think you're dealing with a wrestler, he's going to be like a big ego and a bit of a person, like somebody who you're going to kind of just like do it for the cameras. I have never, like, in all of these, like, meeting superstar people or whatever, I've never met someone so genuine. He was the most down-to-earth, stand-out guy who, like, we were putting him through the paces doing the workout, and he genuinely did it. Like, he did the whole fucking thing. He was that wrecked. He was as knackered as he looks in the videos, and, like, he pushed himself, and it was cool to see. And it was like, and then even afterwards, man, he was buzzing, and he was just, like, having the chats with all of us. And when the cameras turned off, that guy was exactly the same guy. So that was a really cool experience. I really, like, that was basically... I was just done my training session. I had no idea that day that he was going to come into the gym and that there was going to be anything filmed. And John walked over to me and he was like, "Look, you've got the same task basically as Sheamus. Do you want to do the workout with him?" And I was just like, yeah, grand, it'd be a bit of crack. And I came in and he was just super cool, super down to earth, super normal guy. Was really like, and like, really interested in fighting and really like wanted to know everything that we were doing, like about weight cutting and about all sorts of stuff. And like genuinely interested. It was cool. And then even after, man, I went out, I was like, just getting ready and doing other stuff. And he was there like signing autographs for kids and hanging around and having a chat with people. Really, really cool guy. Couldn't say enough to that guy.
Obviously, you can see how physically of a specimen he is. He's in really, really good shape. But obviously, you saw that firsthand. So how good was an athlete? Was he? Obviously, he's been working in WWE for years.
So it's a different thing. This thing. So we made him do some MMA movements, and we're like, okay, he's designed for something different. Because like, if I was to go and do what he like, you put my body up on like TV and like you fucking put me in as like a show athlete, I don't look anywhere near as ripped as that guy. Like, like he's physically, like aesthetically way more impressive. But then like as a performance athlete, when like you can see the video, like, I'm milling him in performance, like, but it's like, look, he's obviously a little bit older and things like that. But like, I think it's like you could see the difference of like, there's an athlete designed to look amazing, and here's an athlete designed to actually do like, to need to do shit like, and like my body's pretty good at actually doing the fucking thing, even though like I got some love handles and I got a little bit of pudge around the end of my belly and shit. But like, I can fucking move when I need to. And, I can generate power. I can do all the things I need to be able to do. But like, being ripped as fuck isn't necessarily the most important thing. Now, it like, it wouldn't hurt either. And like, if I could click my fingers and fucking have abs, yeah, I'd definitely do it. But like, the thing I'm mostly focused on is like, am I moving the right way? Am I powerful? Am I doing these things like right? And ultimately, like, fighting is a skill set based sport. So it's not like, being ripped doesn't win you fights. Being powerful and being fucking quick and being like moving the right way and doing the right things at the right time and having your techniques down, that's what's going to win you fights, man. So like, it was kind of interesting that like, we had very fucking different bodies, but like our performances were, like, yeah, look, he's a solid athlete, man. You could see it in him. Like I said, you could see the years of like, look at him. Like he's absolutely shredded. And he's like, what, like probably nearly 40 now, is he?
Off the top of my head, I'm not too sure how old he is, but he's been around for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like, look at the shape the guy's in. So he's an incredibly impressive athlete. Like,
I'll tell you in about 2 seconds. He is 44 years of age.
Fuck. So that he was like 41 at that stage then. And so that's like 2019. And yeah, the guy was in incredible shape.
So obviously, you talked about that he did a little bit of your craft. How good was he at that? Did he choose the right path to be a wrestler?
Yeah. And not like, that's no insult. It was the guy's first day fucking training, and he's like, what, 41? So like, yeah, look, he's class at what he does. Look at him, and like, look at the way he gets things going, and like, look at the persona and the crowd and the guy's done fucking amazing shit. But like, obviously, he hasn't been training to fight for the last 40 odd years. So like, you're not going to be good at something you haven't tried to do. That's life, you know. Like if I went in and tried to be a wrestler, like I wouldn't know how to suplex somebody the same way they do. I wouldn't know how to body slam. If I was trying to do it, I'd look clunky as fuck because I'm just not used to doing it. So he's not used to doing it. Like, yeah, if he was 20 and went and put a lot of effort into it, I'm sure he could do really well. I'm sure he's the type of guy who's like determined and athletic enough to succeed at that sort of thing. But he didn't do that. So like, he's not.
Yeah, he came over to SBG Ireland, tried out, a little bit of MMA. Maybe it's your turn to go over there to the Performance Institute and try out a little bit of his.
Yeah, well, like, I've got the tash, I've got the nickname Will fucking Fleury, so I just need to work on my persona, I've got to get that, like, kind of voice down,
That's funny. I mean, it would be absolutely fantastic. As you talked about, he's such a likable guy. Very good on the mic. So maybe a little bit of lessons he could talk to you about. Maybe get on the mic, just shouting out everyone.
Yeah, I'll get some shit talking tips off Sheamus now.
Absolute pleasure, Will, to be joined by you. Well done on the fight. Congratulations on the fight last weekend. Absolute pleasure. Moving forward, I would like to see you on the global stage in PFL. Obviously, I think you've earned it. I think the light heavyweight division is very open. I feel like you can go in there and probably stamp your name.
So this is the thing, like, they don't have like a huge marquee name. Like, there's a couple of guys who I really rate, like Rob Wilkinson looks like a very good fighter right now. And obviously your man, Shoeface, Antonio Carlos Jr. They're both very solid athletes. And they have a couple of guys who, like, they're solid, but they're not that well known. I kind of think, like, if they could get a big marquee name in and then do the tournament and, like, throw us all in and just be like, right, fuck it, go on. Go for it, lads. It'd be incredible. It'd be an amazing, like, yeah, let's hope that happens. Fingers crossed, man. And, like, I feel like good shit's going to happen regardless. So the main thing is I stay whooping ass and not a daily basis. So feels like good shit's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Wherever you are in your next fight, I'm sure it'll be entertaining and you will get the win. 6 months is a long old time to wait, and obviously you can't wait that long. So yeah,
no, chats will need to be had if that's the intention. So
yeah, absolutely agree. Nathan was talking about that too, and his So an absolute pleasure. Will, wish you the best of luck in the future. Congratulations on the fight, and we'll catch you next time.